Hey everyone, welcome to week 4 edition of AGT Time. Cody Patterson here along with
Jay Bach. Going to round out our last 10 of our first 40 and start looking towards the semis tonight. And we're excited to talk about what I think might be the best of the 4 episodes so far.
Yeah, agreed, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Real quick, Jay, I was out last week.
You were out last week. I was flying solo.
You were flying solo. I thought you did a great job. I hope everyone enjoyed our condensed podcast. I think you covered everything wonderfully, but unfortunately, I didn't get to give my thoughts.
Yeah, let's hear what you had to say about AGT Champions episode 3.
Yeah, so everyone, I'm not going to do like an entire recap. I'm just going to go over this real quick, just a couple of things, just real highlights on the 10 acts that were covered in week 3. Alexa Lomberger, the dog trainer. I thought this was real good. I don't know if we've seen kids do dog training. I thought she did a great job. Everyone seemed to love her. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Tyler Butler Figueroa. We've talked a lot about Tyler Butler Figueroa. Not one of our favorites. This week we had Brian King Joseph, and we know that Tyler Butler Figueroa is nowhere near the talent that any of these other violinists we've seen. He's a cute kid. Yeah, he's a cute kid, great personality, but I don't feel that he's AGT caliber. I think as he grows and matures in his talent, he may get there one day. I don't think he's there yet.
Agreed. Okay.
Ben Hart, the magician. I actually don't remember much from Ben Hart, the magician. I think it was just, unmemorable.
Was he the one that did the rice in the bowls?
That's why it was unmemorable, because it didn't make any sense. There was no flow. He was not entertaining, and it just kind of ended abruptly. Even the judges said, "Is it over? Is that the end?" So it didn't do anything for me.
Okay.
Freckled Sky, the video projection dance duo. This didn't do a whole lot for me either. This week as a whole seemed very weak. It didn't seem as strong as what we saw this week in week 4, where we get silhouettes and some of the other shadow dancers. The projection on that just didn't seem good at all.
Yeah, Freckled Sky, like they're like Kenichi and Iba, but it's 2 of them. Like there's so much potential there. I'd love to see them just take off and run with that potential, but it just wasn't having it this week.
No, it wasn't. Moses Concast, the beatboxer instrumentalist. This guy didn't do much for me either.
Yeah, talk about potential. I was so excited for him.
Yeah. Of course, The Unbeatable. I mean, they're one of the best acts we've ever seen.
Indeed.
Came so close to winning. They're obviously, I mean, they're one of the top acts of the season. So you can't go wrong with The Unbeatable.
Yep.
Michael Grimm, I remember Michael Grimm back when he was originally on AGT. Beat out Jackie Ivanko. During that season, Jackie Ivanko was actually one of my favorites. I was rooting for her to win. But, Michael Grimm, I thought he was a good talent. He wasn't the chicken catcher, was he?
No, he wasn't the chicken catcher, but he's just a good old boy from down south who, in his video package, he said, I wanted, to get a little bit of name recognition. Had no thought that I would ever be the champion, that I'd be a winner.
Right. Yeah. He wanted to get his grandparents a house. But yeah, he's got a great voice. I love his like bluesy type voice.
Yep.
I enjoy Michael Grimm.
Okay.
Duo Destiny, the hand balancing duo. We get a lot of these duo transcend, duo whatever. They didn't really stick out for me. I didn't think they were that great.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't do a whole lot for me. I think I'm more our duo transcend type group, the high flying trapeze. I think I enjoy them more than this.
Okay, yeah. They are doing things that I can't imagine doing. They're strong and beautiful and sexy, and it's it's good to watch, but it does kind of feel like, oh, another one of these.
Yeah. Same thing with kind of quick style dance trio. It was dancing. Didn't do a whole lot for me.
I did not think they were champion level caliber. Yeah.
Yeah. Now Mickey Dark. Mickey Dark I loved. I thought this was great. I love his bit. It's kind of the bit we've seen where they don't talk. He's kind of got this goth horror look to him. I love how he kind of snuck up on Simon and touched him on the shoulder and scared him a little bit. The trick itself, I didn't think was that great. I'm going to kind of behind the scenes a little bit. A few weeks ago, not his trick, but I actually saw a video that showed how this particular trick is done.
Oh, no.
And,
okay.
Yeah, I know, and it ruined it for me.
Oh,
so
shoot.
when I saw him do this trick, I'm like, I know how that trick is done. But it's still, it's still interesting that you have to have the timing down. His scariness, his fear, his horror. I think that whole bit is just kind of interesting. I would like to have seen more of Mickey Dark.
The show as a whole, I think, he does the whole thing very well. Yep.
So we had Tyler Butler Figueroa go through. We had Duo Destiny go through. VN Beatable, of course, the Golden Buzzer. And Alexa Lawnberger, her being was the judge's choice. Was it between her and Michael Grimm and Quick Style? I could kind of see it, but I think I would rather have had Michael Grimm go through than the dog trainer.
Interesting. Yeah. You're usually very high on dog acts.
I am usually high on dog acts, but I think this time, and I'm usually not high on singers, but
right,
I'm more familiar with Michael. Yeah, I'm more familiar with Michael Grimm. I enjoy listening to Michael Grimm. I don't know if Alexa has it. I don't know if she has what it takes to win.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I thought on the whole, like you said, it wasn't their strongest episode, but yeah, we got through it at least. The 3 that they picked, I'm not sure would have been my 3 either. But I'm not one of the super fans, I guess.
Yeah, there's several in this week, in week 4, that I would, if they'd put in week 3, they definitely would have gone through.
Yeah, I feel like indeed. Yep, agreed. Yep.
So,
agreed.
That's my thoughts. Not a whole lot. I know we don't want to do we don't want to do a 3-hour. We don't do a 3-hour show listening to you, your thoughts again as well as my thoughts. So I just kind of wanted to breeze through that, but we can move on to week 4. Let's take care of business real quick, Jay.
Okay, let's take care of business. I'll jump on this. We can be, of course, rate, review, subscribe, right? What every podcaster tells you to do. But seriously, give us some reviews. There's a couple of reviews out there that we're going to talk about one of these days. But if you want to hop on and tell us what you like, what you don't like, we'll take that. You can reach us on Facebook, AGT Cast. We are on Twitter at AGT Time. Or Gmail is agtcast@gmail.com. So AGT Time is Twitter. It's alliterative. The other ones are AGT Cast. Got it? Okay, now do it.
AGT Time Twitter.
Got it. Okay. Yep. And of course, I'm at One Man Bander if you want to reach out to me directly. Or Cody is
Cody L. Patterson.
All right.
All the tweets.
With that, we've got our last 10 acts of the season, our introduction to the last 10 acts of the season, and like we said, it was a good night. One of them is going to get the golden buzzer. That's manned by Alicia tonight. And then 2 more are going to be voted through, and the next 3 vote getters then are going to be selected from the judges. So with that, the first act of the night was Christian and Percy. We're going to start with another dog act for this episode as well. Christian, if you don't remember Christian and Scooby from, when was that? A couple seasons ago.
You said 2014.
Okay. Boy, that's longer ago than I thought.
I know.
Man, so it was Christian and Scooby. Now it's Christian and Percy. And it's him, a hand balancer, and his Chihuahua. He is doing a show in Vegas now, and he was saying, yeah, this isn't Scooby anymore. And everybody goes, oh, no. And he's like, no, Scooby's fine. He's just old. So everybody was concerned about Scooby there for a moment.
Yeah, 16 years old for Scooby.
Yeah, yeah.
He was 11 when he performed originally, and now he's 16.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a plenty old dog, indeed.
Yes. So he should be enjoying his retirement right now.
Yep, and I'm sure he is. All right, so we've got Percy with him. It's another little Chihuahua. So he starts with it's like two posts coming out of the platform, and then blocks of wood on top of that, and he balances himself on top of those blocks of wood on the platform. It gets elevated up into the air, and then he throw those blocks off to the side, and he catches himself on those posts that were sticking up. Pretty cool little trick. Then he's down on the ground, and Percy joins him. He's doing like a somersaults, and Percy's using Christian like a barrel roll. Like he's staying on top of him no matter where Christian is in his somersault. And then let's see, Christian, he goes up into a handstand while Percy stands on his feet. I remember that trick from his his season a couple of seasons ago. And then he balances horizontal on one hand, and Percy is then standing on his back, just up on his hind legs, flapping his paws around. So Percy leaves, Christian does a backflip, and that's the end of the act. What'd you think of Christian and Percy?
I loved Christian and Percy. I loved when it was Christian and Scooby. I think this is an act that we don't see. He's the only one that does this act. We see other dog acts that basically do the same types of tricks every time. We just talked about Alexa. We have latte dogs. We have all these different dog acts. They all do the same tricks. Christian,
we've seen
and Percy,
a lot of that
and
done
Scooby.
before.
Yeah, they're the only ones that do this type of act. It's fascinating how he trains these little Chihuahuas to stand on his feet while he's standing on his head, how they move around as he moves around. It's like a little dance routine between the two of them. It's just incredible what they do.
Yeah.
So he was a semifinalist when he was on originally, and I think he messed up by having Heidi hold Scooby, and then he kind of did his own act. Well, you took the dog out of the act. That's what people want to see. People want to see the dog. Everyone does. There's tons of hand balancers. They're the only ones that do this type of act.
He certainly, I think, learned from that lesson. As much as you want it to be about you, it's kind of about you and the dog. And actually, it's just about the dog.
Yes, it is. Yep.
He's the star. You're the sideshow. You allow it to happen. So, it was a good act. I'm trying to think, how could he improve? What could he do to make his act even better? And I was remembering what were their names? Edson and Leon, the
Yes.
old guys. It'd be great. One, if Christian were 60, 70 years old, right? If he were one of these guys, I would love to see an old guy and his dog doing these tricks together, right? I think that would be an improvement. I don't know that adding another human, but possibly another dog, right? If he had Percy and Scooby doing tricks, I'd love to see that.
Do you go with bigger dogs? I mean, does he bring out like a Labrador or a German Shepherd or something of that nature? I mean, would it work the same way?
I don't know if that would improve the act or not. I'm just trying to think of ways for him to bring it just to that next level up.
Yeah.
So unfortunately he can't just be 70, but he's I don't know. It's a good act. It's hard to imagine him improving it a whole lot. I do kind of like that. Bring Percy and Scooby out with you.
Yes, I was getting ready to say bring them both. Yes.
Yep.
If he had both of them in the act, that would help.
Yeah. Yeah. Judge's comments. Heidi said, as soon as he started climbing on you, everyone goes crazy. It was perfect. Howie said, I'm a fan of you, and tonight you're better than you were. You stepped it up. Alicia said, it just got better and better and better as you went along. Simon said, I've never seen a dog balance and dance at the same time. So judges loved it. High praise. After last week was thinking these guys, he's a shoo-in, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we haven't seen the rest of the acts, but compared to last week, this was a great way to start the show.
Yeah. Second act of the night was Voices of Service. They were 5th place just last season.
Yes, top 5.
Yeah. In their video package talks about how much they've inspired people. They're receiving letters and they're continuing to inspire. They're going around trying to spread love and hope, and veterans is kind of their cause. This is all active or retired military personnel that makes up this quartet, 3 gentlemen and 1 lady. Were you familiar with the song that they sang?
I was not. No, were you?
Yeah, me neither. No, but the lyrics were, "I got you, sister. I got you, brother." That was kind of the chorus that they kept repeating. All about being there for your sister or your brother, and I think probably your proverbial sister and brother, not your literal sister and brother.
Yeah, I think it's more like their brother in arms and their sister in arms.
Yes. So they were good, as they always are. Very smooth, very soulful, easy to just be in their presence and listen and just sit in those harmonies. I'm a big fan of Voices of Service. I'm a big fan of the work that they're doing for the military, not just as military members, but encouraging those in the military. All around a great act. What were your thoughts?
I agree. I've been a fan as well. I've enjoyed listening to them. Every time they come out, it's a top-notch act. The thing is, I'm not sure they're a top 5 act. They're absolutely a top 5 AGT act. I'm not sure they got better from what they were in season 14. I think they're still top 5. But I'm not sure they inched up to that next level like some of the other acts that we've seen. I think they kind of just did what they do. What they do is fantastic. What they do on the stage, what they do off the stage is fantastic. But I didn't think that they bumped it up enough to win this competition.
Yeah. They did what they do, right?
Yes, that's right. And what they do is fantastic.
They do very, very good at it. But
Yes.
It does kind of feel like we've seen it. I'll give you that.
Yes. Yeah. And we've seen it, I think, was this 5 or 6 times we've now seen it. And it seems like it's the same bar. I don't think that bar has gone up. They perform at a very high bar, but I don't think they raised the bar this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Easy to listen to, like I said, fun to listen to. Howie said vocals are amazing. The power you feel when you harmonize is like no other. Alicia said it was beautiful, poignant song. Power is bursting out of all of you. Heidi said your voices are weapons of inspiration and weapons of hope. And Simon said, I think the message you deliver was absolutely beautiful. It made me very emotional, and I know for a fact you could win. So when Simon's saying you can win, that's pretty high praise.
It is high praise. And I thought Heidi's choice of words were very interesting, saying that, your voices are weapons and weapons of inspiration. Yeah. I was like, that's kind of interesting word choice.
Yeah, interesting word choice. Weapons of inspiration, weapons of hope. But with great power comes great responsibility, I guess, too. And I feel like they are embracing that responsibility.
Agreed.
All right, a little bit of a left turn here. We're gonna go from the real dog act and the real military act to the 7-year-old Australian comedian JJ Pantano. What'd you think of JJ?
So I loved his package because he kept talking about how his mom was a singer. She went on Australia's Got Talent, and then, or actually, I think she convinced him to go on Australia's Got Talent, and then he did. And did he win? A finalist. He was a finalist.
Yeah.
On Australia's Got Talent. And then everyone expected him to be a singer. So he comes out on stage. He's got a little bow tie on. I like how his hair was kind of, was it like curled out a little bit?
Yeah,
he had
long,
little,
kind of a, yeah.
Yeah, he had like a suit on, but he was wearing, I think they were dress shoes, but with no socks. And
sort of the hipster kit, right?
Yeah, and his pant leg was kind of a little high. So I really liked, his look. And then we thought he was going to be a singer, and he comes out and he starts roasting the judges.
He roasts the judges and Terry Crews, right?
And Terry Crews, yes.
He said, essentially, there are dozens of people backstage, hairstylists and costumes, and they're all there just to keep up Simon's new look. Heidi, I watched one of your videos with my mom until my dad came home, and then we watched all your videos, right? Alicia, you're not Alicia Keys. Howie, you have done 40 movies, and you can believe it. I haven't heard of any of them. And then Terry Crews, 7 years in football. You played 32 games. I'm 7, and I've played more games than that. So he was he laid into all of them. I thought it was pretty decent. Fair delivery, cute as a button. A 7-year-old comedian, it's certainly not his material, but he delivers it pretty well. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a 7-year-old telling jokes. And anytime a 7-year-old is telling jokes, you're going to laugh at him. I like the roasting. I think the Heidi one was the best one of all the jokes. The Howie one was kind of the weakest one of all the. Howie and Terry both were kind of the weakest of all the jokes. When he finished, and I commented on his look. Once he finished, I realized he looked like a young Billy Crystal.
Okay.
And then telling jokes. He's got to work on his material. But it's interesting if he used this material in Australia's Got Talent and became a finalist. What level was the competition that year? Because I didn't think it was that great. This is a quarterfinalist, type of act. On America's Got Talent, he is cute as a button. You're right, and he tells jokes like a 7-year-old. And I'm hoping he kind of sticks with this and grows in his comedian talent.
Yeah. Heidi said both thumbs up. Alicia said, I thought he's so cute. And then I thought, oh no, he's brutal. Howie said, you're adorable. You're funny. You've got stage presence. Simon said, who's the funniest person in the world? And we all love you. So, I'm not expecting him to go through based on that, but it was a fine performance. I didn't feel like he was buzzer worthy by any means. Just a pretty decent little act.
I agreed. I mean, it wasn't bad. If he was telling bad jokes, then yes, I could see it buzzer worthy. The jokes themselves, I think they were kind of funny. It's not one of the greatest comedic acts we've seen, but I thought he held his own on the stage, and he told the jokes. We don't often see the comedians come out and roast the judges like he just did, and I think being 7 years old, he can get away with that a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure some of the other comedians could come out and do it the same way.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
One question that I had, I watched this with my brother and my sister-in-law, and my brother was saying, how long does this last, right? When he's 9, does it still work? When he's 11, does it still work? When he's 14, does it still work? There's some point where he's going to not be the cute 7-year-old telling these jokes. He's going to be the, awkward tween teenager telling these jokes. And it is not going to fly.
Right. Yeah. As you grow, you kind of got to change your material and the way you deliver it.
Right. So he has a shelf life, at least to run with this particular kind of act. But
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they kind of brought him back as he grew. Maybe they bring him back when he's 11, and then they bring him back when he's 15, and they bring him back when he's 20, just to kind of see how he does, see how he matures in his talent.
I tell you what, thank goodness I was not, put under a microscope or on a stage at 7, 11, and 15 and 20 to see how I'd grown and changed.
Agreed. Yes, agreed.
Okay. All right. Fourth act of the night, we've got Emil Rangle. I don't know.
Rangle.
Romanian. Romania's Got Talent winner. And he won as an openly gay performer dancing in high heels. He was kind of thrust into this role of like the voice of Romania's LGBT community. And he's doing the best with it as he can. Boy, what'd you think of Emil Rangle's high heel dancing performing act?
I think I actually turned and did some other stuff during this. I didn't think the dancing itself was AGT caliber dancing at all. It just didn't see. It wasn't good. I mean, he is in high heels. We saw a group of gentlemen do the high heels. Not last season before last, and they were fantastic. And it was more the shock value of them coming out and doing it.
Yeah, they were from Philippines, if I recall, right?
Right, and this guy comes out wearing full body leather red outfit with high heels.
It looked like that classic Britney Spears outfit, right?
Sure, yeah.
I kind of thought that's what he was going to do, was a Britney Spears act, but no, he didn't. It was.
Oops, he did it again. So.
Yep. Oops, you didn't do Britney Spears.
Yeah.
He was joined on stage by two ladies who are also dancing in high heels. I didn't feel like the moves were something I hadn't seen before. I didn't think that it was particularly good. Simon buzzed him. Howie buzzed him. When we got to judges' comments, Howie said, "This is Champions." Alicia said, "I appreciate how difficult it is." Simon said, "I like you. I like your message." I didn't think that was the caliber to be the best of the best. And Heidi said, "It's not us that votes. It's the super fans." So as a reminder. 2 buzzes out of 4 is not particularly not looking good. Not looking good for Emil.
No, I agreed. And I mean the crowd seemed to be into it. The 2 guy judges were not into it. I wasn't into it. But we're not voting. So
yeah, and I will say, like, this was a classic. The producers are zooming in on judges' reactions and the crowd reactions, and the cameras spinning around while he's doing tricks. It looked like they were really helping him out with the with the production, but it was one of those things where you just don't even get to see the act sometimes.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
It was a lot of flash. Not a great act. So I'm ready to move on.
Well, real quick, let me ask you this: how would you compare him to Hans?
Hans,
yes. Yeah.
Yes, Hans is funnier, and he is more interesting and more all around better. I would take Hans every day.
Okay, yeah, and Hans has the bit. I mean, he has the German thing, and yeah, he's
right. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, like Simon said, though, I like his message. I like that he has this voice, and he is standing up for the people that see him as a role model, and he can be proud, and they can be proud of him. Keep it up. You're doing great. Just not. This is not the place for him. Wrong. Yeah. Wrong act on this night. I'm not sure exactly what I'm trying to say, but
no, I agree.
Okay. All right. 5th act of the night was the Silhouettes. Do you remember Silhouettes?
Absolutely. I remember Silhouettes. Silhouettes is the OG shadow dancers of America's Got Talent.
Yes.
And I think they said it perfectly. Every shadow dancing group that comes on the stage is compared to silhouettes. Every single one of them. So yes, I remember silhouettes. I love silhouettes. They are one of my favorite groups of all time on AGT. They bring the feels, Jay. Silhouettes bring the feels. And
yes.
Yes.
Okay, so they were first place runners up to Landau Eugene Murphy Jr., our Black Lounge singer. They are the original shadow dance group. They've since traveled around the world. Most of them, in fact, have moved on, graduated out of Silhouettes. There is one original member from their season still dancing.
Gia, yeah. Now the question is has she been on the team the whole time, or did she come back just for this?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that it matters, but
no, it's just
yeah. Tell us about Silhouette's act, can you?
Yeah, I sure can. So, Silhouette's act starts out with a little girl getting a dog, and we see basically 3 of the shadow dancers make up this dog that's just sitting on the stage, and the world is passing by around this little dog. The girl, the dog goes out with the girl and goes to a swing and sits there and watches her. The little girl grows up and goes to graduation. The dog is sitting there watching her. The little girl, after graduation, goes off. We get a military story, Jay. The little girl goes off to the military, and the dog's wondering, well, where'd she go? I mean, where's she at? And so then the girl comes back home, and she's in a wheelchair. And as I'm watching this, Jay, I'm imagining kind of where the story is going. I kind of having some images of like Marley and Me.
Right. When they fast forwarded to her like going to graduation, I leaned over to my brother and I said, "That dog's gonna die."
Yes, absolutely. Because I'm like, this dog's getting older. The girl's getting older. She's now left. She's gonna come back. The dog's gonna be really, really old at this point. But that's not what happened.
That's not what happened.
That's not what happened. So the little girl comes back home from the military. She's in a wheelchair, and then all of a sudden she stands up.
Stands up out of the wheelchair. Yeah.
Stands up out of the wheelchair, which that's that kind of. I'm not. Well, how can I say this, Jay? That's not what I expected.
It's not what I really expected either. But the audience cheered.
Yes. Yes. But that's not the part of the story. That's not where I thought this was going. I still loved it because I thought it was going to go one direction. I had certain feels. It went another direction. I still had the feels. They are so good. I had the feels 3 acts after they were done. I had feels 3 acts later from the story that they told because it involved a little puppy. And I always get the feels when it's when there's especially stories like this when there's doggies involved. I get the feels.
All right. Well, Cynical Jay is a little more cynical than you.
Okay.
As an act, all these shadow groups, they all tell the story of somebody growing up, and they fast forward through their life. What my brother said, and I think it really encapsulates kind of how I feel about this. Spoiler alert, they get the golden buzzer from Alicia. But we had a real dog act first, and we had a real patriotic act second, which lost to the fake dog, fake patriotic act, getting the golden buzzer. So, for what it's worth, they pulled those heartstrings, and Cynical Jay maybe didn't buy into it as much as the rest of America, but they told a good story. They used a little bit of color in their in their storytelling. There was one shot of like them out in a tent. I'm picturing a little girl and her dog in the backyard in a tent, and the tent was made of somebody's leg, up closer to the light to make it a big thing that they could fit under the shadow. Really cute, really well done. I didn't have the feels like you did, Cody. The dog didn't die. The standing up from the wheelchair, I don't know that deserved a cheer from the audience. But the audience was feeling it. So we got to see Terry from backstage. He said that was one of the most moving things I've ever seen. Simon said, absolutely beautiful, but where's the dog? And 3 of the people raised their hand. He said the message about, that your life is better because of animals. That's why we make this show. Heidi said, Alicia and I were bawling. Good luck to you guys. Howie said, I'm not an emotional guy, but I felt like the story, and I felt you. But I felt the life. Did I make that up? What? I don't know. he liked it.
I didn't write that down.
Alicia said I was bowled over and inspired. I want to see more, and blah blah blah. Golden buzzer. So, yeah. I thought that their precision was there. I thought that the quality was there. It felt a little bit pandering, as a lot of these kind of stories do. The actual dog, the actual patriotic act lost to the fake dog, fake patriotic act. So
yeah, I'm gonna come back to you on that because and I think Howie mentioned this when he actually had his golden buzzer the first time where Simon stole it, was that those acts are too early. They're the first and second acts. No one that early is going to get a golden buzzer. I agree with you that maybe if they were later in the show they could have been worthy of it, but it just so happens the producers put them first and second. So if you're first and second, you're not going to get the golden buzzer that early in the show.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Yeah.
And then I had one more point, and I think I lost. Well, I want to go back real quick to when they were on originally, and they got second place. I think that was very controversial at the time, losing out to Landau Eugene Murphy Jr. Landau Eugene Murphy Jr. was a great artist, great performer, but I think it was a big upset for them to lose to him back in 2011.
Yeah, and at that point, was he like the third or fourth male solo vocalist in a row? It just kind of was this rut that America just kept kind of voting the same sort of act through. That's prime tell your story in your video and then come out and do a don't mess up on your performance, and we're gonna like you. And it is easier for the audience to connect with a solo act than it is for them to connect with people who are literally behind a screen.
Yes. Yeah. You're literally in the shadows.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So
and then my final thing, and then my final thing I wanted to say was I messaged you and I said, finally, a worthy golden buzzer.
Right.
Yeah.
So I knew you were going to be high on him. A little higher than I am, but they're the fifth act of the night. Not a surprise. They check all the boxes, right? That's what you want a golden buzzer to be.
Yes, it's almost like the producers put them there on purpose.
Just maybe. Just maybe. All right. Sixth act of the night is Brian King Joseph. This is the other violinist with 3 names.
Yes.
He's
the good violinist with 3 names.
Third place finisher 2018. He's got the neurological issue. He's going to be losing feeling in his fingers. He's still doing okay though. He was able to get booked after being on the show. Yep. He was able to buy health insurance. It's things are looking up. So
yeah, I think he was able to find doctors that can start to treat his condition. They're not going to reverse it, but maybe similar to was it Duo Transcend that we saw?
Trey.
That we saw them a couple weeks ago, where they're able to kind of stop the progression. or reduce the progression. So my wife even commented, he looks happier. He looks like he's feeling better. He kind of had an extra skip in his step while he was performing this time. So I'm hoping that his condition is at least stabilized at this point where he can continue to perform.
Yeah, let's hope so. They didn't say that in his package, but health insurance. It turns out that proper medical care is going to make your life better. So, I don't want to get political on it, but let's be thankful that he has it. So,
yep, absolutely.
All right, he is going to be doing an original song tonight. Hard to really describe it. It's sort of a minor key. It's got a Middle Eastern sound. He goes into the thing where he's really sawing on that violin pretty hard. He came in from the back of the audience. He's wearing his white jumpsuit. He's an interesting guy to look at, right? Like, he's black and he's got the dreads, but he's a huge, fantastic smile, just teeth for miles, right? He's got really interesting blue eyes. There was a fire twirler on stage for a moment. I don't know what was going on with that.
Hey, everything's better with fire, Jay.
Yeah, I guess. So. The music was good. I didn't think that it was particularly great, but I was talking to my sister-in-law about it. I was watching with her, and he said, like, I don't know that it was really great violin playing, but like, he wrote this original song, which sort of highlights what he does well, or is, like, it's going to give you those crowd pleaser moments, right? Like, that's what he designed the song to be. So he, he's showing off his skills. If I were going to be writing a song, I'd write something that was showing off my skills too, right? That's sort of what he does. So, I liked him a lot. I don't have a lot of complaints other than, by the end of it, I was kind of tired of listening to violin, right? Like, it is just sort of a grating instrument to listen to for a long period of time. Alicia said, I love your energy, your violin. I loved it. Heidi said, I'm so happy to see you again. Every time you're on fire. Howie said, is there a story? He said, yes, it's my first original single. Is there a story about that song? That is. Simon said, I still think you're capable of something so different. You reminded me that you are one of the most talented musicians we've had on the show. So Simon, really high praise about his musicality. I don't know. I can imagine him going through, being one of those top 3 left, but I'm not sure that he's going to sneak through based on that performance. What are your thoughts?
I think he's one of these guys that doesn't really play like love songs or slow type songs. He always plays something with a lot of energy. And he's moving around the stage. When he finishes playing, like, every string on his bow is just ripped to shreds. So he's kind of one of the modern Charlie Daniels. And I enjoy it. I mean, I hope he doesn't. I don't know if he plays slower songs on all his albums or in performances, but every performance we've seen on AGT, he's doing something high energy. When he's playing something original or something, if he's covering something, it's hard for me to tell because it's so high energy. There's so much going on. I'm not able to focus on the music itself. But when I'm listening to him, I still enjoy listening to him. He just looks like he's having a lot of fun. Everything is in tune. And when you add fire, I always enjoy when you add fire. If he had other performers on the stage with him, I think that would give it a few more points for me as well.
Sure.
But I enjoyed this performance. Just like Voices of Service, I'm not sure it was, I'm not sure the bar was raised. He still plays at high energy, at a high caliber. I'm not sure it was something special for this week.
Yeah. I'm not sure that it was special. I think that's a fine assessment. Yep. All right. That's Brian King Joseph. Next act of the night is somebody that I had not heard of and probably should have heard of before now. It was Connie Talbot. She lost to Paul Potts,
yes.
who you'll remember from Champions Part 1.
Yes.
She lost to Paul Potts in Britain's Got Talent Season 1 as just a young child of 6 years old. In her video package, we learned that, since graduating, she's been able to focus much more on her music. She's 19 now. She has teeth now. And she's also going to do an original song, a love song. What'd you think of Connie Talbot?
I really enjoyed that she played the piano and sang at the same time. I think it was Heidi. And I'm going to go ahead and jump to Heidi's comments real quick because I think it kind of pertains to this. That the song sounded like a wonderful first dance type song. Something, a couple would dance to at their wedding, or maybe a father-daughter type dance.
Yeah.
I thought it was very, very fitting. I thought it was wonderfully sung. The piano part was just fantastic. She has come a long way from when she was 6 years old. They played a little bit from her package when she was 6. It didn't feel like a second place performance from Britain's Got Talent. When they kind of showed her up there and then said she got second, I was like, oh, and then I noticed, Paul Potts is up there. So that seems like it's a pretty big gap. I'm not sure what she did the other performances on Britain's Got Talent, because in her audition they said she sang Over the Rainbow, and it didn't seem like it was that fantastic. I mean, it seemed like a little kid singing Over the Rainbow. So to go from wherever she was in that audition to her finale to be in second place to Paul Potts, I'd be fascinated to kind of find out where that journey went. And then to get where she's at now, it sounds like she's done pretty well for herself in the last 12, 13 years.
Yes, indeed. She's a beautiful young lady now. She's a very talented, very capable singer. I think that she could benefit from a little bit more dynamics. Like she went from pretty high to really high, and she would do well to go from medium low to pretty high to really high. Like just bring it down a little bit for me, so it's not just like kind of blasting me. Her piano playing was on point. She's not a virtuoso by any means, but it takes some real guts to go on stage, sit at a piano, play and sing, and that's it. It is you and the piano, and it's not, there's no other background, there's no other help, there's no recording, there's no track. It's exposed. It's all you, and she nailed it. So
yeah.
Like you said, Heidi said it's a perfect song for a first dance at a wedding. Simon said you nailed it. Alicia said it's lovely seeing you have a full circle moment. It could be the start of something beautiful. Howie said it's up to the 50 states and the super fans. So
yeah,
so that's that.
I hope Got Talent franchise is really helping her out. I'm hoping Simon's kind of keeping her under contract and letting her release some albums. I haven't looked to see if she's got any albums out, but it sounds like she's got a career ahead of her if she chooses to stay this way. I think she said she graduated from school, I guess from high school, and now she's really pushing hard on her music career.
Yeah, and I would hope that, at minimum, she's getting more exposure, more TV time by simply being on AGT Champions. If this is the career that she wants, I think that she's seizing the moments and, doing a great job with them. She could do well.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Next act of the night is Sandow Trio Russian Bar. And I got to tell you, I was watching this with my sister-in-law and my brother, and I said, as they're in the video package, it's this woman and her husband and her brother-in-law, and I said, Angie, you and your husband and your brother-in-law are here watching this together, and then Terry had to go and ruin it by saying, "Do not try this at home, folks."
Were y'all go get a 2x4 out in the backyard and
my brother said he had a 2x4 out in the garage, a 16-footer would have been perfect. But so that dream, I guess, is dead.
And she has kids.
Yeah. My brother and sister-in-law, they have 4. So
there you go. See,
the story tells itself.
So Jay, where were you in October and November and December of 2019?
I plead the fifth. No, we it was a fun joke for us to make, I guess. But so Sandow Trio Russian Bar. This is 2 gentlemen who hold this flexible, spring, looks like a board between them on their shoulders, and the sister-in-law / wife stands on the bar, and they flip her up in the air, and she does tricks. The first one, it was like just a scissor splits. Then she does a double backflip and a double backflip pike and another double backflip differently. Then they put a blindfold on her, and they help her sort of mark the center line of the bar. And we see her do another double backflip, and they cut to commercial before she lands. And then she lands the double backflip, and then they move down in front of the judges and another backflip with a twist. Every single backflip was in slow motion. Every single one. I did not get to see any of this in real time.
Yeah, my wife was getting very annoyed by this.
Yeah. Give us at least one of them, so we can see how it actually feels, how it actually looks. Every single one of them. I was frustrated. Okay. Got that off my chest. But a fun act, man. I was really excited to see them back. This is super dangerous. I remember them doing it, over spikes and over fire and over flaming spikes, and they'd kind of reached all the ways that they can do this more and more dangerously when they did it back in their original season. And I had forgotten that these were the ones that really took that hard left-hand turn, and instead of doing the act that got them to the semis or to the quarterfinals, they played piano and sang upside down.
Yes.
And it was kind of a classic, kind of peed it down your leg sort of moment. It was really unfortunate because this act is so good. It's so fun to watch. And I'm looking forward to, I want to go back and watch their old acts and see if we get to see any of them in real time at all, because, that was overproduced, guys.
Yeah. The stuff that's going to be live, you're going to see it in real time. They can't slow it down in the live shows.
Yes.
So
yes.
Those we can see, those we can go back and see in real time.
Hopefully they did one. Yeah.
Well, they had to have been on at least one live show.
I'm hoping so.
Weren't they quarterfinalists or semifinalists? I didn't write it down.
I don't remember. Yeah.
But the season 6, so it's been a while. I love that they're bringing back some of these acts from earlier seasons, from Sandow and Silhouettes, and we've seen. We've seen a lot of them that have come. Yeah.
Season 6 was 12 years ago, right?
12 years ago, yes.
12 years ago.
Yes.
8 years ago would have made 14.
Math, but
yeah, but still, 8 yeyears older than I am right now feels like a long ways away, and I don't know if I'm still going to be able to, fly up in the air and do flips.
Yeah,
they're older, right?
maybe AGT years is much longer than real years. So even though it was only 8 years ago, it feels like it was like 20 years ago.
Sure. All right.
So,
judges,
but they've done a lot since they were on season 6. They said they were on The Greatest Showman. They were one of the performers on The Greatest Showman. They've performed all over the world. They've done a lot of things. They're also kind of one of those OG performers we really haven't seen a whole lot of Russian bar over the years.
No, they're the
I'm
only
not sure
ones.
why. Yeah, I think there was one that we saw a couple seasons ago, and they didn't even get out of auditions for some reason, or maybe not even out of judge cuts. So I'm not for sure why we're not seeing more of this Russian bar stuff, because it's so dangerous and so exciting, especially when you're doing it blindfolded. If you watch, the guys themselves are even moving around to keep the bar underneath her.
Yes.
It's not just her going straight up. If she veers, they have to move to make sure that they're underneath her.
Right. On a stinking 2x4. It's crazy.
Yes.
And it's dangerous. Howie said it was so dangerous. I was thinking to myself, oh, why can't you just sing and play the piano? Which I thought was great. Heidi said, I love that you're also a mom. Welcome back to the game. Alicia said it was so exciting to watch. Simon said, I don't normally love this kind of act. However, it had more relevancy than any other act we saw tonight. So really high praise from all of them. I loved it. I was so looking forward to trying this in the backyard, but again,
take the advice of Terry.
We took Terry's advice.
Yeah. One final comment for me. I don't know why the guys look like they were wearing bulletproof vests.
Yeah. That's a really... I thought there was going to be some sort of, like you rip the shirt off kind of moment, right? Like the audience loves it when guys rip their shirts off, but
yes.
That just never happened. They just had bulletproof vests on.
But flap jackets or bulletproof jackets on. I don't know what's going on there.
Maybe they could work on their costuming. All in all, fantastic act.
A great act. It's great to see them back.
Yep. Okay, 9th act of the night. I kind of feel like we could even yada yada this one. We got Bars and Melody. They met when they were 13 and 15 years old. They were 3rd place on their season in 2014 for Britain's Got Talent. This was Simon's first ever golden buzzer. Tonight they're going to give us another original song.
Okay.
I learned that I am not their target audience.
Yes.
I did not care for this act. I don't like the singing. There wasn't dancing to speak of. Howie said, this is Champions. That didn't seem like a champion song. I might watch it on YouTube, but not on a big stage. Alicia said the nerves were pouring out of you. We could feel your nerves, but I liked the song. Heidi said, I'm sure you're way better than what you did. Simon said, I'm frustrated this audience didn't get to experience what the Britain's Got Talent audience did years ago. So that was that. Nothing, not a lot of high praise from the judges. I'm fine to just move on.
Yeah, I have 2 comments.
Okay.
One is that it seemed like it was more of like a DJ party, like club type atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like a club song, basically.
Yeah.
And the second thing was they said they were going to rap, but it didn't seem like rapping. It seemed more like it was like a DJ, like type atmosphere. I'm not sure what I'm looking for, but it wasn't rapping. And it felt like they were at performing at a club.
Yeah, and I didn't even take notes on the song itself. It was just like I could not tune into it. It like one of them saying, "Oh yeah, what?" It's like that's not talent, guys.
Yeah,
not in my book. Not the talent that I want to see, anyhow.
So, what do you think Simon's thinking looking back at, like, I gave them the golden buzzer?
They must have been different. And, maybe, like, at 13 and 15, like, these guys are super cute and really fun to watch. And, that's wonderful. But wait, now you're, like, 19 and 20 and or whatever their ages are, and you're no longer cute. Like, you're no longer adolescents, but you're grown men, and this act as adolescents is way cuter.
Yeah, I'm not sure who thought of bringing them on the show and having them do this, because of all the acts that we've seen, of all 40 acts that we've seen, this is definitely in the bottom 5.
Oh, yeah. Father Time wins again.
Yep.
Okay. Last act of the night. This is Strauss Serpent. He won Africa's Got Talent in 2017. In his video, we learned that he grew up in Congo. He started street performing at the age of 13. And winning has allowed him to provide for his family, for his sisters, and life's journey has brought him this far. We know that he's a street performer, it's dancing, but man, my mind was blown by Strauss Serpent. He's a contortionist, right? He's a contortionist dancer, and he, like, I was trying to write this in a way that would make sense, but like, we see a lot of contortionists working sort of like on 2 dimensions. They twist in half and they twist over and whatever, but like, he added a 3rd dimension, like by twisting his spine. It's not just back and forth, but it's back and forth and around. It also spins.
What's the movie where the girl's head spins all the way around?
Oh, The Exorcist.
Yes. That's what I thought he did as well. Like, he turned his head all the way around.
Right. And, part of that is the staging of it, or, how he positions his bodies to the camera. But also, the dude's super flexible, right? Like, he had his chin hooked over his shoulder. His arms were twisted around his back. He was grabbing I didn't even know how to say this, but like, he was grabbing the wrong ankles with his hands, and he twisted his torso all the way around to be facing the audience. And like, there was times like I couldn't really tell what was going on. He was moving so fast and in such a weird way. The crazy eyes going, the crazy tongue going, and I gotta say, fantastic use of sound effects.
Absolutely, yes. And I don't know if they were effects. I think those were real sounds.
No. I don't think that we heard tearing flesh.
Cracking and popping. You don't think that actually came from his joints?
Absolutely not. I think that was...
Okay.
I think that was absolutely...
AGT?
I think that was... I don't think that AGT necessarily inserted it afterwards, but I think that he had that as part of his track, and he moved his body when those sounds came on for the added effect. Yes.
Okay. If that's the case, it was perfectly timed. Cause
absolutely, yeah.
As we were watching, I mean, he would twist his arm, and all of a sudden we would hear like a crack or a pop, and it wasn't like it just stuck out. I mean, you could just barely hear it enough to make it like it was coming from him. So if that's part of the track, he did a fantastic job at making it just the right volume and just at the right time.
Yeah, I think that was part of the track. Okay. I really do.
Because it gave us chills. I mean, we were just cringing every time because we could hear those pops and cracks.
Right, but you can't look away, right?
I know. Yes.
So good. Heidi said, "I'm so happy you came to do AGT Champions. This is contortionism on another level." Howie said, "I would really bend over backwards." You would really bend over backwards to win this thing. Alicia said, "I loved it. It was so painful to watch. I did feel a little bit sick at one point." And Simon said, "I always wonder why people love watching horror movies, and I shouldn't love watching what we just did, but I did." So there you go. Pretty high praise for Strauss Serpent, winner of Africa's Got Talent.
Yeah, going into it, I didn't know. I mean, we'd seen from his package that he was a contortionist, but going into it, I was not expecting a whole lot. I thought it would just be another one of these internationals that's coming out on stage and just doing a small, cute performance. But everybody was into it, and he did things that we've never seen people do before.
Yeah, absolutely. I always love seeing something that we've never seen before, and it was good. So, okay, so of the 10 acts, we know that Silhouettes are going through. They've got the golden buzzer. I always like to hear, who are your next 3? Who do you want to see? And as a recap, while you think about it, it's Christian and Percy, Voices of Service, JJ Pantano, our comedian, 7-year-old comedian, Emil Ranglais, Brian King Joseph, Connie Talbot, Sandow Trio Russian Bar, Bars and Melody, Strauss Serpent.
Yeah, so this was a tough night because there was really only, I think, 2 acts that I didn't feel, maybe 3, that I didn't feel were as worthy as the others. This was very, very top heavy.
Yep.
I thought I'll kind of give my not really the order, but these are my top ones. I thought Christian Stoyanev killed it. Voices of Service killed it. Of course, Silhouettes killed it, and they're going through. Brian King Joseph, Connie Talbot, Sandow, Bar, and Strauss Serpent. I thought they all just killed it.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's going to be tough picking from those. Only 3 go through from those 7, really. Bars and Melodies. Bars and Melodies not going through.
Emil's not going through.
Emil Ranglais not going through. I didn't feel JJ Pantano was that great. He was cute. I thought he was fine. I didn't feel it was worthy enough to go to go through. Yep. So I really only felt there was about 7 acts worthy of going through, and to pick from those 3 is tough. So really, I'm only picking 2 because Silhouettes is going through already.
Right. Well,
no, I'm picking.
There's
I'm picking
3 more going through. So
yeah. So I guess 4 out of 7. Is still tough. So Voice of Service, I thought deserved it. I thought Christian Stoyanev deserved it. And either Connie Talbot or Sandow, one of those 2, deserved it.
Okay. So. All right. Well, we get to results. We've got Emil Ranglais, Voices of Service, and Strauss Serpent. One of you is going through. Who did you think this was going to be?
I thought it was going to be Voices of Service.
I kind of did too.
As I'm working on this and they're starting to announce it, I bullet. They're grouped together. I then highlight the ones that I think are going to go through or that did go through. I'd already highlighted Voices of Service. I'm like, they're going through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, surprise, it's Strauss Serpent.
I thought this was like an upset.
I thought it was too, but I'm pretty okay with it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with it, but I really thought it was still an upset. I thought the super fans were going to choose Voices of Service. I figured they'd think Strauss. I thought it was great. I figured they'd think it was too weird, and it
was weird. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I wonder if going last, assuming that he actually did go last, if there's that recency bias that like. I just saw that, and Voices of Service was the 2nd act of the day. Like, that's so long ago in recording time. Like, it had to be hours ago.
Because they had to tally all the votes and
right.
Yeah.
Right. So,
I think that the order that we saw them is the order they did go in, because we've seen Howie comment that he'd already used it, and judges have said, if I had not already used my golden buzzer, yes, I would vote for you, or I would do it.
Right.
And even, it's too early to use it. So I think they go in the order that we see them.
Yeah, I'm led to believe that. So, with that, Strauss Serpent has recency bias on his side.
Yeah.
And I'm not terribly surprised that he goes through, but I love Voices of Service, and I'm sad to see them eliminated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Maybe we'll see him as a wild card.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right. Next group of 3 is Bars and Melody, Connie Talbot, and Sandow Trio Russian Bar. And I'm thinking Sandow Trio Russian Bar by a mile.
Yeah. I don't know about by a mile. Obviously, Bars and Melody is not even in the conversation. So I was going between Connie Talbot and Sandow. I didn't know if it would be. I don't know if it was a blowaway. I figured both of them would be pretty close, and I would be okay with either one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, they put through Sandow Trio Russian Bar. So I was happy with that, and I was I'm pleased with that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think that she said going off the stage that they've been redeemed, like redemption.
Yeah.
Because of the way they were eliminated last time.
Yep. You got to feel good about it. I'm looking forward to seeing them again, possibly even in like regular speed motion. So
hopefully
we'll see.
Now, don't take the risk that you took the last time. Don't take that type of risk. Do what you do.
Yeah.
Obviously they took a risk back in season 6. It didn't pay off, but do what you do. This is what you're an expert in.
Lesson learned.
Just do this.
Lesson learned.
Just do this.
I think.
Yes.
All right. So our final 3, it's going to come down to the judges picking between Brian King Joseph, our violinist, JJ Pantano, our 7-year-old comedian, and Christian and Percy, our hand balancing dog act. I'm feeling Christian and Percy, possibly Brian King Joseph, and I'd be surprised if it's JJ. What are you thinking?
Agreed. I thought it was either between Brian King Joseph or Christian and Percy. I didn't think JJ would be even in the conversation.
Yeah. Well, Howie starts us off. Being a comedian, he puts his vote on the comedian JJ Pantano. Alicia says Brian King Joseph. Heidi, just to even it all out, says Christian and Percy. And we are left with Simon making the final decision, and it's got to be JJ Pantano. What?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So I was thinking that Simon has to choose between a kid or dogs. And that's like one of his, he loves kids and he loves dogs.
Yep.
So that's really what he was picking against.
Yep. So yeah, throw both of those out and put in the violinist. I don't know.
Yeah.
Boy, I was surprised by this result. I don't necessarily agree with it. I'm okay with it. I would like to see what else JJ brings. There may be some more good material there. But boy, I didn't think that he was top four quality for the night.
No, I didn't either. I mean, he was definitely top 7. He was probably 6th or 7th. I didn't think he was top 4 either.
Yep. All right. Well, with that, we've got our last of our acts going through. So it's going to be some number of these next week. I guess I didn't look ahead to see if we know who's going to be performing or what that's going to look like. We suspect there might be a wild card. Oh, do you have it for us?
I actually have it in front of me. Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you share it?
Yep. So semifinals, and I'm guessing this is semifinals 1.
Yep.
So I'm guessing there could be 2 semifinals if it follows the same as last week or last year. So we have Alexa, we have Danya Diaz, Duo Destiny, Duo Transcend, Hans, JJ Pantano, Marcelito Pomoy, Mark Spellman, Ryan Niemiller, Sandow Trio, Strauss Serpent, and Tyler Butler Figueroa. So could you ever imagine a show where Tyler Butler Figueroa gets in and Brian King Joseph doesn't?
Unfortunately, I have to.
Yeah.
Duo Destiny and Duo Transcend. That's interesting.
Yes, both duos. Yep. And 2 comedians.
Yep. I'm excited to see what Marcelito is going to bring us. He's one of my very favorites of the season so far. I thought of a few different duets that I'd like to see him do. The only one I'm thinking of right now is the from Aladdin, I Can Show You the World.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him pull that off. Yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm excited to see what happens then.
Yeah, I'm excited for 11 of the 12 acts. Or actually maybe 10 of the 12 acts. I'm not excited for Hans, and I'm not excited for Tyler Butler Figueroa.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Well, with that, we'll watch this on Monday or shortly after. We'll take our notes and circle back next Thursday to record our thoughts and hopefully pump this back out on Friday for you guys.
Absolutely. So one final time, you can reach us on Twitter at AGT Time, on Facebook, AGTcast, email agtcast@gmail.com. I'm on the Twitters at Cody L. Patterson. Jay's on there at One Man Bander. He's got to spell out the one. And then we'll be back next week for semifinals 1.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you in a week.
Have a good night.